Oh, all right. We're just getting set up. Just give me 30 seconds and we'll be ready to go. All right. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hidden Treasures Advocacy. It is our kickoff, our beginnings here of hopefully what is going to be a wonderful experience for many, many people. My name is Gina Barbara. I am the founder, creator, and lead organizer of Hidden Treasures Advocacy. We're going to get into what Hidden Treasures is first. But first, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Gina Barbara. I am a person with a physical disability. I have cerebral palsy. I'm a power wheelchair user. I live in Wantagh, Long Island, New York. And this organization is going to be meant for a national audience. It is not just local. I am looking to branch out to anybody that can use our services, which we will get into in a little bit. Um, I'm a graduate of the Henry Viscardi School in Albertson in 1999. I learned most of my advocacy inspiration from Dr. Viscardi himself back in 99, and I kind of was a quiet little mouse until I met Dr. Viscardi and learned that, hey, things are not to be so quiet when you can open your mouth and have a little bit of freedom. I graduated with an associate's degree in 2001 from Briarcliff College in Bethpage, New York, in office technologies, computer concentration, followed by a medical billing certification in 2004, which currently I do not have anymore because I wanted to pursue other avenues. In 2018, I graduated with a rhetorical studies bachelor's from Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. That was in the area of citizenship, communications, and public advocacy. I was appointed in 2023 to the Nassau County Advisory Council on Disabilities, and I currently am still a council member even though the current committee is kind of frozen at the moment, but we're going to be working on that real soon to try and spark that back open. But stay tuned for more information on that. Currently, I'm studying at the CUNY School for Professional Studies and an advanced certificate program in the area of disability advocacy, which I do plan in hopefully the spring of 27 to be pursuing a master's degree in disability studies. I am currently employed as a peer advocate, assisting transitioning individuals from the area of nursing facilities and facilities into the community. So that's a little bit about me. And now we're going to look at our agenda for tonight. We're going to do introductions, followed by a slideshow with a Q&A session, and then we will adjourn. Um, So for introductions, we're going to answer four questions. Um, First, we're going to state your name, where you're from, what are you hoping to experience with Hidden Treasures Advocacy, and most of all, why are you here? You're here obviously for a reason. What is that reason? So we only have three people in the room. So let's start with Kathy.
Hi, my name is Kathy Collins. Um, and where I'm from New York City. And what am I hoping to experience with Hidden Treasures Advocacy? I'm not really sure yet because I need to find out more what Hidden Treasures is about. That's why I'm here tonight. And oh, that answers the fourth question. Why are you here tonight? to learn more about it and also to support my friend Gina with this wonderful new program because we can always use something to help the disability community even more. Thank
Right.
you. And just so you know,
You.
a white woman with brown eyes, brown hair, short hair, with a blue background, wearing pink headphones and a red no-sleeve top.
Brandon?
I'm Brandon Heinrich. I'm from Long Island, and I'm a white male with black hair, blue eyes, and the most gorgeous figure you'll ever see. And I am sitting at my desk, and I am here to learn a little bit more about what this group is and do whatever I can.
All right. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So what is Hidden Treasures Advocacy? And here on the right side of the page, you will see, give me 1 second to move this heading because it's kind of in my way. Okay, you see a flyer here that says Hidden Treasures Advocacy, empowering individuals, strengthening communities. We have our email address on the left-hand side with the phone number. Underneath that, we have a quotation that says, "We believe in dignity, opportunity, equity, and community. We're here to listen, support, and advocate for positive change together. You are not alone. We advocate, we support, and we care. What are our services? What are we going to do? Why are you here?" Well, this is going to be different than a traditional disability rights advocacy organization. It's going to be very different. It's not going to be totally direct action. Yes, are we going to do some direct action with other organizations? Absolutely. But that's not going to be the main goal of this organization. I want to include advocacy education. For one, what is advocacy? Advocacy could be anything. If a person says they are an advocate, guess what? They're an advocate. But what is so important within the word advocacy? And underneath advocacy education, as our services on the right hand side say, knowledge is power. We empower individuals through education. So basically, let's say you're a college student or even an adult with a disability that maybe just started, had an injury or something, or an accident and became disabled. What is advocacy? Well, why is it so important? That's one of the things we're going to learn. Direct action is going to be where we go and advocate for different situations, like currently with the whole DOJ memo and the stripping of the ability for people to live in the community. They want to strip that away from everybody. I'm sorry, and bring back institutionalization, which is a real problem. Also, there's no clear plan as to what New York is going to do. Number one, with the federal Medicaid cuts that were proposed a couple of years ago, that we still have no idea what we're looking at. We have minimal answers from certain entities, but there needs to be stronger, less militant advocacy going on, like more of conversational based advocacy over the militant styles of different organizations that are currently out there working on these issues. Public speaking is another big one. I think public speaking here is going to be the most important entity into understanding what his Hidden Treasures really is and what the point of Hidden Treasures is. Public speaking really raises awareness more than anything, and it inspires voices. I know many people that are terrified of public speaking, do not want to get in front of an audience of 200 or more people because they don't think their words matter. Well, we're going to change that. We're going to make people more comfortable in public speaking. We're going to learn different areas of how to make that less of a challenge for people. What is it in public speaking that's so important that you can get your message out there and be less afraid of facing the public, facing the public, facing public officials, facing general audiences? How do you do that? What are the processes of that? We're going to see that firsthand. We also are going to have public speaking engagements. We have been invited by Hofstra University to speak on the Hidden Treasures Advocacy platform, and we will be doing that this summer, upcoming. But one big thing that's going to be crucial in this whole endeavor is fundraising. If we cannot fundraise, this is not going to go anywhere. In order to make your voice heard, that costs money. It's not all the administrators or all the people that are working behind the scenes of the organization are volunteers. They are not paid. There is no pay that is going to go into any salary of any person that works within this organization. Now, there is a precursor, but we will get to that later. Um, let's move on real quick to virtual recreation. What is that? What does it sound like? Well, that is for many people that cannot leave their homes, that cannot leave their beds, that they're bedbound, have some reason why they can't get into the community, and we can build personalized recreation at home in the venue of virtual. So what I'm referring to by that is I've already started a trial with somebody in regards to recreational program that I kind of customized. Basically, it starts with an intake. You're going to go through the intake, you're going to understand what the interests are of that person. Let's say they're interested in art and they're interested in music and they're interested in knitting. Maybe they're interested in, I don't know. Kathy, you said earlier you were going to Spain. Maybe they're interested in Spain. There is so much virtual material out there since the turn of COVID. You can literally do anything virtually and participate. So it's going to be integration, it's going to be recreation, and if they are ISS, we're going to create a plan through if they get um, self-direction, we're going to work within their budgets to make sure that they get a customized plan that's going to be amenable to each individual person. So that's really going to be customized. If anybody you know that may be interested in just trying piloting it, let me know and I will definitely get with the person, do an intake, and see if this is going to work. All of this, folks, is at this point trial and error. We're just getting off the ground. We need to learn what works. We need to learn what does not work. And we're going to need as many people as possible to experience this together with us so we can understand what it is that the community really needs. Understand what I'm saying? So the next part is nursing home visits. And why do I say nursing home visits? Well, you know, with these notions that are out there with DOJ and more younger individuals who are not getting home care are being put in institutional placements, not because they're too sick to be in their homes, not because of any other reason. Then they can't get an attendant. They don't qualify for an attendant. They need more hours than what they can get, and they need the help. So unfortunately, they're placed in an institutional setting. Now, if you are 24 or higher and you're in a nursing home with 80 and above individuals, what quality of life are you really going to get? I know several people that are in nursing homes that are younger that tell me every day the recreation programs stink. There's nothing for me to do. All they do is bingo. Or if they have concerts in the nursing home, they're people from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. What is a 24-year-old person supposed to do with music from the 40s, 50s, and 60s? It's not fair. But in that realm, in the realm of virtual recreation, you can incorporate concerts, full length concerts, may I add. You can do karaoke, you can do music arts, you can do songwriting, you can do all of this, creative writing, all of it from a virtual standpoint. You can kind of make their lives brighter. That's the point here. So, I mean, in-person and hybrid events, that's kind of self-explanatory. When we have an event, it will be both usually in person as well as virtual via Zoom, so that everybody can participate. Now, I want to go back to nursing home visits real quick because what are we going to do with those nursing home visits? We're going to bring companionship, we're going to bring care, and we're also going to bring connection. Our goal is to make sure that people are in the community as much as possible, but in the event that they are institutionalized, we want to make their life just a bit better every day, if we can. And lastly, our in-person trips. So what I mean by that, museums possibly, outings maybe at a restaurant, more in-person gatherings that we can just pick a topic and talk about it. We will have structured meetings. That's not going to be like a structured disability rights advocacy organization. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be very different. We're going to include support groups. We're going to include subject-based learning, like voting, like HAVA. Um, some issues like, okay, how do I want to go to the city and I live in, I don't know, upstate New York somewhere. How do I do it? Well, we're going to learn how to do that. We're going to learn how to do a lot of things that, you have a service coordinator, but sometimes that Medicaid service coordinator is not your friend. So we're going to help lead toward services that are necessary to remain in the community. Unfortunately, yes, we know that takes money, but we'll get there slowly. Um, this is not going to be overnight. We need to build a foundation first. We need to build a base. I'm going to be reaching out to some corporate entities very soon. I'm going to be reaching out to state and national disability organizations. I have reached out to some already. We've had one event. I'm going to actually play that event for you in a little bit so you can hear what took place. There was a Fight for Your Lives, actually, sorry, Fight for Our Lives press conference held 2 weeks ago at the Wantagh Railroad Station in regards to the DOJ memo that came out just a week and a half prior to when we did that action. Um, so that's the flyer of Hidden Treasures. We're going to move on and then we'll take questions at the end. So, what is our mission statement? And I had to think long and hard about this, but I kind of made it just as simple as I possibly could for right now. Look, this is all the very, very beginning. Nothing here is etched in stone, but these are just general ideas that came to my mind at the point in time when I said, you know what, we need to, if they're going to try and institutionalize people, we need to come up with a counter that's going to make people's lives better in some way, shape, or form. So the mission statement of Hidden Treasures Advocacy is going to be: we strive to promote and assist in building the skills of self-advocacy as well as promoting community first over institutional placement. So, well, what does that mean? Well, pretty much we are going to be promoting the ideals and giving the people the tools to understand what self-advocacy really is. What is self-advocacy? Why is it important to be able to self-advocate, especially in an institutional setting? Why is that so important? Um, so Here is our beginnings of a website. This is really, really temporary. It is https hiddentreasuresadvocacy.weebly.com. We are going to be moving this website. This is very, very generic. I'm going to put it on the screen for everybody, but understand this is not staying. This is very, very generic. So let's take a peek real quick. I'm just going to open it. Why, sorry. All right, so on the screen we have our home page, and on the left-hand side we have the Hidden Treasures Advocacy logo, which is three schematic people, two in maroon and one in the center in blue. On the right side is my name, Gina Marie Barbara, lead organizer and disability rights activist, with the address of the organization, the email address, and our phone number. Just to note real quick, the number is a Google Voice number, so we're still trying to get out the kinks in the Google Voice. So if you don't get through the first time, please try again. We are working on perfecting how to make answering phone calls a bit easier because we've had some struggles with that in the past couple of weeks. Again, here's our mission statement right here. And on the bottom right, on the bottom of the page, there are four images. They're all of me doing different advocacy kind of work that I've done over my tenure doing self-advocacy and advocacy for people with disabilities. The second picture here is me sitting in my wheelchair with a white and flowered dress on, wearing sunglasses, and sitting in my wheelchair on the train platform at Wantagh Railroad Station. This was when I tried to get access, elevator access in Wantagh for several years in order to make accessibility for people to be able to board the train on the platform. So basically, that is that picture. The third picture on your right um, is a picture of me sitting in my wheelchair again with a multicolored flowered shirt on, blue pants, and pink sneakers, sitting in my wheelchair at an inaccessible Amityville Railroad Station, which I am very happy to announce that that is now fixed. It is now fully accessible, as is the entire Babylon line, due to advocacy of myself and others in the areas of disability advocacy. And the last picture you see here on the page is a picture of me sitting in my wheelchair with a purple sweater on and sunglasses at a door that is inaccessible. They turned off the accessible door, and it has a sign on it which you're not able to see that says, due to preserving air conditioning, we have turned off the accessible doors. Please contact mall administration if you want to enter. You're not seeing that in that picture, but that is what that picture is all about. That was a big problem. That was at the old Sunrise Mall that's no longer there. And that was several years ago. So that is our homepage. I'm going to move to our next page here that tells us a little bit about Hidden Treasures Advocacy. So here we have the Hidden Treasures Advocacy logo again with the two maroon people with the blue in the middle. And underneath that, we have at Hidden Treasures Advocacy, we strive to offer supports, inclusion, and education voluntarily in efforts to maintain our rights for living as independently as possible in the community over institutional placement. So I just came up with two quotations, and I think they're pretty powerful, and I think they really will serve their purpose as we go along in time here. The first quotation is choices over power, and the second one is undiscovered treasures equal changes. Now, why undiscovered treasures? What are you talking about there? Many people have already asked me that. Well, in the world of advocacy, you never know what you're going to uncover. You never know what you're going to face head on. So if you don't, if you don't try to discover different challenges, how are we going to get change? Next, we're going to go to another generic flyer that was made earlier before I came up with the one that I showed you a little bit earlier that really highlights what we do. This again is the same kind of deal. It's just a different background and very generalized. It has the same things, same headings that we have in our other flyer that is much more detailed. So I'm just going to move on from there. So on the next page, we have a join us link. And what I want everybody to do, I don't care if you're disabled or not, as many people as we can get to join this organization is going to be critical. There are so many disability rights organizations out there, like DIA, like ADAPT, like Caring Majority, like so many others, AAPD and DreadDev and all those bigger national organizations, the Civil Liberties Union. But we want to connect all of them together. We want to unite people. We don't want to divide people here. And as I said, this is not about 100% direct action. This is more about support. This is more about dealing with issues that sort of could be dealt with by a social worker entity, but I feel like the information and the topics that we're going to cover in this space is going to be much different than what a social worker could provide, much different than what a Medicaid service coordinator can provide. Let's say somebody has a home health aide, but they're struggling to figure out, like, let me see how to phrase it where people would really understand it. Well, let's say you have a home health aide and you're having issues with that home health aide. But you know that they're so short in home health aides right now that at least you have somebody to help you, but they're not ideal. They're not really what you want, but they serve the purpose for the moment. How do you deal with that situation? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? You need help. If you don't have the help, you're going to be stuck in the bed, or you're not going to be able to eat or go to the bathroom or do anything. So, how do you work around awkward situations? You know what I'm saying? What are the steps? What are the processes? You can't just curse them out and say, get out of my house, because then what are you going to do? So, I mean, there's a whole set of different techniques that we can go through that can assist in that kind of a thing. And then lastly, on our webpage, we have our resources and literature tab. But unfortunately, this is really, really small right now. I haven't really played with this too much. Right now, the only thing that is in here is the link to the NPR article on the DOJ memo, that people can go and take a look and see what's going on with the DOJ memo situation, which basically states that they want to reverse Olmstead and they want to take away the ability for people to live in the community and want to place people back in institutions. However, they're so short right now in institutions and hospital care and in home health aides and direct support professionals in general. Really, where are people going to go? What are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? It's really not that simple. It looks simple in writing, but it's really scary. It's horrifying. And, it's just mind-boggling that, this administration has taken the ability to remove years of history, years of things that people have worked so hard for over a elongated period of time. what we're going to do here is we're going to look at different topics. Some topics that may not be as comfortable as others, but you know what? They're going to be addressed. Employment, that's going to be one that we're going to tackle. What is the new, why is this new work requirement so important? What does that look like? What does that look like in different states? I mean, yeah, all of us in the room right here are from New York, but as I said, this is not going to just be New York. I'm looking to branch this out both nationally and with some grace and with some real backing and a lot of participation. We can make this an international movement where we can reach out to different countries and get opinions from other countries. So that's a little bit of the website. As I said, it's very temporary. It's not staying there. We're going to be moving it to another entity shortly. We're just trying to see what's going to be most productive. But I guess the next part of this is recruitment. How are we going to recruit people? Well, word of mouth is going to be one. Absolutely. Number one is going to be word of mouth. There's organizations that we are going to be reaching out to: Disabled in Action, ADAPT, Caring Majority, Dread Dev. We're going to reach out to the ASAN, the autism organizations. We're going to be reaching out to plenty of places very shortly. So stay tuned. Our next thing that I want to discuss is fundraising. Now, originally we were going to plan a rally for the end of July to celebrate the ADA, but unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts and location dilemmas, we were unable to book the place where we were going to have the original event at. So it's going to be too rushed at this point, I believe, to put together an ADA event, but I do want to do an ADA fundraiser. We are currently working on a Venmo account for now until we can solidify 501(c). That comes with $600. So until we raise the $600, the 501(c) is going to have to stay in the back. We do have an EIN for the organization that has already been registered. So we are really excited to get moving. As I said, we do have a upcoming presentation with Hofstra University, to work with them on leadership projects. So we will get back as soon as we get some information more on that. But without any further ado, I do want to give everybody the opportunity to be able to see our event that we had a couple of weeks ago. It is not long, it's about 7 minutes long. I want to give everybody the opportunity to hear the speech that took place at the Wantor Railroad Station. And we do have a YouTube channel as well that has been established. So we have the website, we have a Facebook page, and we have YouTube currently. We will be branching out to X, and we will also be branching out to I'm gonna try and branch out to possibly TikTok, but I don't even know if TikTok is a great idea, but there's a lot of disability education within TikTok that's quite interesting, and it may be worth trying to lure some of those people into this platform. So I guess before I play the video, I'm going to ask, are there any questions in the room? Go ahead, Kathy.
Yes, it's Kathy. I was just wondering, I went on the page and I was wondering, it doesn't have like a donate button. Do you have, are
It
you,
doesn't have it yet because it's not set up yet.
Okay.
As soon as it is set up, we will be adding a donate page to it. But right now, we do not have a dedicated account yet for Hidden Treasures. So we are currently working on that. We are going to link Venmo within the next couple of days, to start with. But eventually, we're going to be doing PayPal as well. PayPal,
What about
and
Zelle? Like, do you have a bank account that people could just Zelle money to?
we're going to, not currently, we don't, but we will.
Thank you.
We're trying to see what different options are out there that are going to be the best, because some options that we've gotten are just way too high. They're asking too much money to keep in the account at one time. It's just not feasible at this point. We don't have enough base to build what they're asking for. So a business
Right,
account is not where
right,
we can
right. You
go at
need
this
an
present second.
right, yeah, an organization account.
So we're working on trying to do what we can do, because unfortunately, in the world that we live in, if you have a disability and you want to do something good for this world, unfortunately, everything is counted as income, and then there goes your life because you want to help other people. So you got to be real
Right, well,
careful
this would
because,
be the organization, so
right,
it would have to have its own bank account in that,
right,
I
yep,
believe. Because that's how it works with other organizations I'm involved with.
right,
They have their own
yep,
bank account, and then that's the first thing that you need to set up as a bank
right,
account.
yeah. Brandon, you had your hand up?
Yeah, so you talk about all these wonderful things about in-person trips and all this other thing, but I've heard no mention of what you will do for other disabilities other than people who need home care services. So what are you going to do as a group
We're going
to
to be
support those
working
people?
We're going to be working on different areas within disabilities. As soon as we get a base and we get an idea of what people want to see, that question is going to be answered. Right now, we don't have much of a base. We're just going on generality right now. But once people start getting involved and they start understanding what it is that people want to do, what they want to work on, what they want to see here, we can customize all of that. Right now, we don't have much of an idea of what we're going to do other than general headings right now, because we don't have any members. What do our members want is going to be the question. What kind of disabilities are we dealing with? Are we dealing with predominantly physical? Are we dealing with intellectual? Are we dealing with blind, deaf? It's all going to be very different depending on the clientele you're dealing with. So it's not going to be geared yet toward anything, because we really don't know what we're dealing with. So let me ask you this question. If you were to walk in the room right now and say, okay, what do you want to do? I'm gonna fork the question back to you. What do you want to see? What is it that you all want to see? I want to work for people. I don't want to be the one that's making the agendas of everybody's life. This is going to be personalized to people. Like, let's say we have 200 people, and 100 of the people are physically, 100 of them are blind, deaf, and another 100 are able bodied. Because guess what? Able bodied are welcome here too. They need to learn just as much as the disabled community needs to learn, because they're sadly mistaken, some of them. So does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay. Because this is not going to be about one area or another. This is going to be, what do people want to see? What do
I
people
think I,
need?
I think I more asked the question because somebody else is going to ask that very same question. If I'm
Right,
coming in here with blindness, what sort of barriers are you going to help open up for us who are blind? Not necessarily somebody who's intellectually disabled or
right,
uses a wheelchair or they have 10 heads, whatever their
right.
disability is. What are you going to do for each disability you serve? I think that's the most important thing to pay attention to. So that's why I'm asking before someone else does.
We're going to customize it amount around what the individual wants to see, or what do they want to learn, or like if they want to work on a recreational program, if they have spare time and they don't have anything to do, these programs are very expensive in the real world. If a consultant was to take that kind of a deal for, let's say, a recreational program, they charge anywhere from $3,000 and upwards, some of them, to pull off a recreational program that's customized. The point here is I want to do it on a volunteer basis where a person doesn't have to struggle, doesn't have to worry about what next meal is going to be on the table, where they're going to get their next income, where they're going to be able to go to the bathroom, whether they're going to be able to eat, whether they're going to be able to get dressed and get out of bed, whether they're going to be able to get to work, whether, transportation is another thing. What, how can we make sure in the city is great, on Long Island, not so much, and upstate in Albany, not so much either. So how do we combat that? Well, it's going to take some work with these taxi and limousine commissions for sure. In certain entities, for sure on Long Island, both Suffolk, Nassau, they don't have Uber and Lyft here. I think a letter immediately to the Taxi and Limousine Commission to query why or what steps can be made to make that happen could work. Give me a second. I know you're ready to, I see it. Give me 1 minute. So, does that answer your question, Brandon?
Yes, it does.
Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah, what you're going to need to understand is the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission deals with New York City and licensing in New York City. Wait, then you're
There's
going
one
to,
in Nassau and there's one in Suffolk.
okay,
There's two
so then
different
those are
ones.
the ones you're going to have to do. What we've done here in the city is to meet with them, advocate, and
Right,
then if they don't listen to you, then you're going to have to sue them like we did.
right. Well, I know there has been some preliminary talks in gesture of talking to Uber and Lyft in both, well, in Nassau for sure, but I'm not sure about Suffolk. But I mean, something needs to give here with transportation because I don't understand how we live on Long Island and Nassau is one entity, Suffolk is a total different entity, and then you got New York City that's just totally different. So I want to try and see
Yeah,
if we can't kind of unite that a little bit.
that's the thing that we really, I mean, I know we put that in our comments on Olmsted about that it's all broken apart and we need a unified system of transportation for the state. That it can't be
Right,
that once you leave a border that you are actually like in another country,
right,
right in the
exactly,
state.
exactly. So are there any other questions? If anybody has any questions that has not been able to attend this webinar this evening, you can email us at the website address provided, which is Hidden Treasures Advocates at gmail.com. Submit your questions there, and we will be happy to go ahead and answer them as quickly as possible. But surely, if there are questions, I encourage you to contact us. So without any further ado, I'm going to play for you the speech that was given at the um, Fight for Our Lives press conference that took place a couple of weeks ago at the Wantua Long Island Railroad Station. And just give me a moment to open it. And also, while I'm finding it, and I just found it, just give me a moment. Also, July is Disability Pride Month, and we are also going to be doing a fundraiser for Disability Pride Month. We'll have more information in the coming weeks on that. As soon as we get the Venmo account linked up, we will definitely be sending out information in regards to a fundraiser. It will be virtual, and the first fundraiser will not be in person. But stay tuned for more information on that. But here we go with the press conference. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here live at the Wandsworth Railroad Station here for the Fight for Our Lives press conference. I'll be beginning in about a minute. I'm just waiting to see one more person. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to all for joining us both in person and virtually. Our press conference today is to fight for our lives. My name is Gina Barbara. I am the lead organizer of Hidden Treasures Advocacy, a nonpartisan disability rights advocacy organization. We strive to promote and assist in building the skills of self-advocacy, as well as promoting community first over institutional placement. As a graduate of the Henry Viscardi School 27 years ago, I learned the importance of if you want something, you must amplify your voice. In early 2018, I saw this Wandsworth community change for the better with the installation of an elevator to gain access to the train platform instead of having to search for a station which had a working elevator. I am proud to say many advocates as well as myself have succeeded in ensuring access to the entire Babylon branch. As we stand united together as a community of advocates, home care workers, elected officials, New Yorkers, and most of all, Americans, once again, here we are to fight for our lives and to preserve our rights. To tell all branches of government to keep their hands off of human rights. Currently, federally, President Trump and his administration have made historic cuts to Medicaid, a program many rely on every day. To this moment, advocates still have no clue what these cuts will look like and how the disability or aging communities will be affected. Our federal government has sued the state for issues that advocates have been fighting about, the transition to a single fiscal intermediary for the consumer-directed personal assistance program. Folks, this is not a good thing. For participants as well as advocates, we call on the governor to relieve Public Partnerships LLC of their duties and restore choice over profit. You have heard the alarm for years. Your response, another day, another lawsuit. For us, another day could mean death for many. President Trump recently has been attacking the disabled community by closing the Department of Education and relocating special education into the unqualified hands of the Department of Justice. I currently am a graduate student seeking an advanced certificate in disability advocacy, followed by a master's in disability studies at CUNY School of Professional Studies, and require accommodations to complete my studies. President Trump has directed his Department of Office of Legal Counsel to roll back the Olmstead decision of 1999. This important decision allowed for the inclusion of home and community-based services to individuals and allowed for the pursuit of freedom, liberty, and happiness as dictated by our Constitution. A rollback would be devastating and harmful to the physical and mental health of our fellow Americans. Also, we will return to deplorable conditions like state facilities such as Pennhurst and Willowbrook, which no human being should ever be subjected to. In a world where attendant wages are not livable, in a world where direct support staff is at a shortage, hospital staff is already short and overworked, and institutions also are scarce. If individuals cannot live in the community, where will they wind up? Think about it, Mr. President. These actions will erase decades of work. We fought so hard for by our predecessors and strip individuals from their dignity and autonomy. We will fight until our very last breath to preserve the history of disability rights and refuse to allow government officials to steal our human rights. We ask our partners in advocacy to continue fighting alongside us. I encourage you to visit the Museum of Disability History at the Viscardi Center in Albertson, New York. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. We call on our United States government to say enough is enough. Stop these attacks immediately. This country is founded on liberty and freedom, regardless of political affiliation. Stand strong and amplify the ridiculously dangerous actions of this administration. To our state officials, although the legislative calendar has come to an end, our lives have not. We need your support to say no. Governor Hochul, we know you don't agree with most of our positions. However, now all the past must fade to ensure the rights of some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers, and we refuse to go back. We are here. We ask for a critical seat at the table to ensure the preservation of disability rights. As we continue to navigate through these uncertain times, we remind everyone we must stick together and never give up, for our predecessors gave so much, so we must do the same. The month of July signifies Disability Awareness Month, and nothing would be more special than to shut these deadly threats down in memory of those like Lois Curtis, Elaine Wilson, Ed Roberts, Judy Heumann, and Justin Dart, and so many others. To all government, hands off our human rights. We may be disabled, but we surely are not disposable. We demand to live in the community and not deadly institutional settings. Our lives are never negotiable. Thank you. So that's a clip of our Fight for Our Lives press conference that took place a couple of weeks ago. And I just want to say that even though there was not the biggest turnout in the world, the message there is powerful. And it definitely was understood because there was a lot of hits on that video. And unfortunately, we can't see where those hits are coming from. But there was over 615 minutes of that video. So we are making progress. It may look slow, but we need to get the word out there. We need to get the word out there to individuals with disabilities, to organizations that deal with disabilities, schools, the like, to try and get more people to work together to try and service as many people as possible. So that's basically a little bit of what Hidden Treasures is about. I look forward to getting started. I look forward to having some very important discussions over the next few months and see how all of this craziness, without a better word for it, is going to evolve, and we're going to have to fight like hell between all these disability rights organizations nationally, locally, statewide organizations, to really say, no, we're not allowing this to happen. So again, collaboratively with other organizations, we will work hand in hand with others to work on direct action. But as I said, direct action is pretty much the bottom of the totem pole here. We're going to leave that to our friends who have been working so hard on these issues. As I said earlier, ADAPT, Caring Majority, has been doing great work with the Medicaid issues, with voting, with New York State issues predominantly. We need to start working with our independent living centers to try and solidify some action on the independent living movements. We're going to go look at the different movements. Many people don't understand that there are many movements within the disability community, and we're going to provide education on those movements as well so they understand. Like, not one disability is the same. Not all disabilities are visible. So that's a little bit about what Hidden Treasures is, and I look forward to gaining our base, gaining people for interest in this, and we'll see where it goes. I thank everybody for joining tonight, and if there are no further questions, have a great night and enjoy your weekends.